Did you know 97% of backyard rain barrel setups deliver less water pressure than a tired guy blowing through a coffee straw? Yep, most people spend a Saturday hooking up a big blue drum under their gutter thinking they just solved their water bill. Then they hook up a hose and get a trickle that would not rinse bird poop off a truck. They blame gravity, they blame the barrel, they blame the government, but the real problem is they built a system that was doomed from the start. I have been there. My first rain barrel setup was so weak, I could count the drops hitting my tomato plants. I was out there every evening like a chump with a watering can because my fancy drip line was not dripping. That was 3 years and 12 upgrades ago. Now my rain barrels push enough pressure to run 200 feet of drip line uphill to my market garden. I do not pay the city a dime for irrigation from April to October, and my plants have never been happier. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a rain barrel system that actually has pressure and pair it with a drip irrigation setup that will never clog on you. This is not your grandpa's advice about poking holes in a milk jug. This is the stuff micro homestead businesses need if you plan to grow food to sell and you cannot afford to waste time babysitting a wimpy system. Let us get into the 7 secrets that most people get wrong about rain barrels and drip irrigation. And yeah, I said 7, because 6 would be too basic and 8 would be showing off. First secret, height is not hype, it is everything. Everybody gets told to put their barrel on a few cinder blocks. That is garbage advice if you want pressure. For every foot you raise your water source, you gain less than half a PSI. That is it. A foot of elevation gives you 0.43 PSI. So those 2 cinder blocks you used, you just gave yourself 0.86 PTSI. Your sink faucet runs at 60 PPSI. You see the problem. If you want real pressure from gravity alone, you need serious height. We are talking 6 to 8 feet minimum. At 8 feet, you are at 3.4 PSI, which is actually enough to run low-pressure drip emitters if your layout is tight. But most of y'all do not want to build a water tower in your HOA-controlled backyard. So here is the move. Stop relying on gravity alone. We are going to build pressure into the system another way, and the height just becomes a bonus. Still get your barrel at least 24 inches off the ground, though. You need room to fit a bucket under the spigot, and you need to keep the outlet above the mulch level in your beds. Second secret, your barrel is too small and your outlet is too stingy. Those 50-gallon drums look big at the hardware store. They are not. 1 inch of rain on a 1,000 square foot roof makes 623 gallons of water. Your little drum will overflow in 10 minutes during a real Texas thunderstorm. If you are serious about a micro homestead, you need storage. I run 4 275-gallon IBC totes linked together. That gives me 1,100 gallons of storage, and that gets me through 3 weeks of drought for a 30 by 40 foot market garden. But capacity is only half the problem. Look at the spigot that came with your barrel kit. It is probably ½ inch. That is like trying to drink a milkshake through a cocktail straw. You are choking your system before the water even leaves the tank. You need a full port 2-inch outlet at the very bottom of your tank, not 6 inches up. At the bottom, every inch of water above the outlet adds pressure. If your outlet is 6 inches from the bottom, you just threw away free pressure. Use a 2-inch bulkhead fitting, then reduce down after a full port ball valve. That ball valve needs to be full port too. The cheap ones neck down inside and kill your flow. Third secret, forget the pump everyone recommends. YouTube will tell you to buy a little 12-volt RV pump. Those things are whiny and weak and they hate dirty water. They are made for clean city water in your camper. You run rainwater through them and they die in 1 season. If you want pressure, you need a proper transfer pump or a shallow well jet pump. I use a 1-horsepower jet pump with a 6-gallon pressure tank. The pressure tank is key. It keeps the pump from cycling every 2 seconds and burning out. My system kicks on at 30 psi and off at 50 psi. That is real faucet pressure. I can run a sprinkler if I want to. I can run 500 feet of drip tape. I can wash my harvest tables. The whole setup cost me $180 on Craigslist, and it changed my life. Yes, you need electricity. Get over it. If you are running a business, you need reliability. A solar panel and a battery can run this if you are off-grid. Do not cheap out here. Fourth secret. Drip irrigation clogs because you are filtering like it is 1999. Everybody buys the little screen filter that comes with the drip kit. Those things are useless for rainwater. Rainwater has roof grit and pollen and mosquito larvae and bits of shingle. You need 3 stages of filtration if you never want to clean an emitter again. Stage 1 is at the gutter. Use a first flush diverter. That kicks the first 5 gallons of dirty roof water away from your tank. That is the water with all the bird poop and dust. Stage 2 is a 400 micron sock filter going into the tank. Stage 3 is a 150 mesh disc filter after your pump but before your drip lines. Disc filters are self-cleaning and they can handle the gunk. Since I set up my 3-stage system, I have not had a single clogged emitter in 2 seasons, and I run 800 emitters. Clean water's happy water. Fifth secret, pressure regulation is not optional. You just spent all this time building pressure. Now I am telling you to reduce it. Here's why. Drip tape, and most emitters are designed for 10 to 15 psi. You hit them with 50 psi from your pump, and they will explode like a party popper. You need a pressure regulator, but not the cheap preset one. Get an adjustable regulator with a gauge. I run my main lines at 25 psi, so I get good flow to the garden. Then I drop it to 12 psi right at each bed with a mini regulator. That way I have pressure to travel, but I do not blow out my tape. Most homesteaders skip this and then wonder why their lines keep bursting. Sixth secret. Your layout is killing your pressure. Water is lazy. It wants to take the easiest path. If you run one long line of drip tape 400 feet from your barrel, you will have great pressure at the start and nothing at the end. You need to think like a subdivision developer. You need main lines and sub-mains. I run a 1-inch main line from the pump all the way down the center of my garden. Then I tee off with 3/4-inch sub-mains into each bed. Then the drip tape or emitter line comes off the sub-main. This is called a grid layout. It keeps pressure even. Also use bigger pipe than you think. 3/4-inch poly pipe can carry 4 times the water of 1/2 inch at the same pressure. Bigger pipe means less friction loss. Friction is the silent killer of pressure. And for the love of corn, do not use soaker hose. Soaker hose is the most uneven and wasteful thing ever invented. It is the participation trophy of irrigation. Seventh secret, you are maintaining it like a house plant, not like a business. A rain barrel is not a set it and forget it thing. If you want it to make you money, you have to treat it like equipment. That means draining your tanks before winter so they do not crack. It means cleaning your first flush diverter every month during pollen season. It means back flushing your disc filter. It means adding a cup of bleach per 100 gallons if you start to get algae, which will not hurt your plants at that dilution. I spend maybe 20 minutes a month on maintenance, and my system runs like a champ. The people who complain about rain barrels being a hassle are the same people who never change the oil in their truck. All right, let me give you a relatable analogy because I promised one. Running a rain barrel system with no pressure is like dating someone who says they will help with the chores, but then they only wash 1 spoon. Technically, water is coming out. Technically, they helped, but you are still doing all the work and you are mad about it. You do not want a 1-spoon relationship with your irrigation. You want a partner that shows up and blasts water to your crops while you are at the farmer's market making sales. Pressure is commitment. No pressure means your garden is carrying the whole relationship. I will tell you where this really hit me. 2 summers ago, we had a drought in July. City put water restrictions in place. On the same week, I had 300 lettuce heads ready to harvest for restaurants. If I lost that crop, I was losing $900 and 2 chef accounts. My neighbor was running around with a watering can from his city tap and paying fines. I flipped my pump on and ran my drip for 4 hours. My lettuce was crisp and my chefs never knew there was a drought. That is the difference between a hobby and a micro business. One is stressed, the other is selling salad. So here's your action plan. Raise your barrels at least 2 feet. Better yet, build a strong stand at 4 feet. Swap to a 2-inch outlet. Add a real pump and pressure tank. Install 3-stage filtration. Put an adjustable pressure regulator with a gauge on your system. Redo your layout with a grid and 1-inch main line. Schedule monthly maintenance on your phone. Do those 7 things and you will have a system that actually works. You do not need to do it all today. Start with the outlet and the filtration. That alone will double your flow and stop the clogs. Then save up for the pump. I promise you the pump pays for itself in 1 season when you are not losing crops or wasting weekends. Now for the question I know is going to start a fight in the comments. If you are running a homestead business, is it irresponsible to rely only on rain barrels without a city water backup? Or is paying for city water just admitting your system is weak? I want to hear your take. Are you team self-sufficient or team redundancy? Drop it below and let us argue. And if you want me to do a full parts list with links for my exact setup, smash like button and type and tell me in the comments. If this video gets 500 likes, I will post the complete build video next week with every fitting and part number. This is how we stop playing house and start running a real micro homestead business. See y'all in the next one.